In this video, you're going to learn how to close B2B sales faster through 10 actionable tips. First off, mutual close plan.
In order to close deals faster, I always recommend a mutual close plan with your prospect. So what is a mutual close plan? I'm going to give some value here on the way that you guys can implement to the way you're selling today. So a mutual close plan is actually the plan you make together with your prospect to get to the signature. So how you do this is a reverse engineering. Of course, you will ask, when is the desired go live date? Let's say, for example, they say it's the 1st of January. And you have 2 months implementation time. So you can subtract 2 months from the 1st of January. So you know when is the latest possible date where they need to sign. And then from there, you can say, okay, so you will need to sign at, let's say, end of October in order to go live on the 1st of January. So who do we need to get on board that we have the signature latest by the end of October? And by every follow-up you do, you refer to this mutual close plan and you make sure that they also keep track of the steps that you define with them. I think one of the most crucial things is relationship building. Relationship building to me means that you have enough touch points with your prospect. I would even recommend you have these touch points in person if possible. I mean, with COVID, it was not possible, but build a great relationship with your prospects because that will help you close deals much faster. What do I mean with this? I mean, one time in my career, I even told a prospect that it will be very bad for me if I won't get this deal through. Those are like jokers you can use. I mean, of course, you won't tell everyone something like this, but I think the relationship helps you a lot to accelerate the time to close. And one of the easiest things you can do is really ask for a favor because you really need this deal to close end of the quarter. And we experienced this many times also at Yokoi that we had a great relationship with the prospect. And we just told them like super open, look, it's end of quarter. We want to report to our investors and we want to tell them that we have won another great logo. So please help me to get this through. In every video you will watch about selling, people will speak about creating a sense of urgency. Only the topic creating a sense of urgency can be, understood in so many different ways. I mean, how do you want to create a sense of urgency if you're the person selling a service, right? I mean, the easiest example is if they won't be live by the 1st of January, everything will be fucked up. But actually, that's not how it works with the SaaS solutions that you and I sell, right? Most of the time, it's not very, very crucial. I mean, we're not selling ERP systems or machines that will keep people alive. So you can create a sense of urgency with some different ways. And one of the most common ways that I also recommend a lot is to have a special deal in place that will only last until, let's say, the end of Q3, the end of Q4. So you will really tell, so this will only be valid until this date. And from the 1st of January, this will be the new price, for example. So you really tell them like, if you won't sign until this deadline, the deal is from the table. And I would also recommend you that if you put something up like this, you have also a second person playing the bad cop because you are working with your prospect and you create a positive sense of urgency and you will tell, okay, hey, if you won't sign, my boss will wipe this offer down. Upfront contract. It's something you can really implement with every touch point that you have with a prospect and not just when you're in the closing phase. So the upfront contract is actually whenever a prospect is asking for something, you want something in return. You never give without taking. So for example, if they're like, hey, you know what? Our procurement department came to us and they said they're speaking to a competitor of yours and you need to go down by, your price or you need to add something for free or whatever. They will always come and have demands. And the upfront contract is always, what do you give me in return? And I mean, the upfront contract is actually one step further ahead because if you go grocery shopping, okay? And your kid will be crying, it wants an ice cream, for example. That's because you didn't communicate your expectations well. So if you do the upfront contract thing, actually in your personal life, it would be you tell your kid like, we're gonna go grocery shopping and if you will be nice, you will get an ice cream from me. So you will save all the crying and you should do the same actually when you're working on your deals. The reference call thing is something that will really help a lot. I mean, to do reference call, you need to have clients, obviously. So if it's your first deal you ever close, maybe this won't work. But if you have a few clients live, this will help a lot. And your first clients are actually usually the ones that will give you very good reference calls because they had a very nice onboarding and you really took time for this. So what I would recommend is, and for example, Manuel Hartmann with Sales Playbook does this really, really well. Whenever you're in the closing phase and you see the prospect is still not 100% sure to go this way, it can really help if you set up a reference call with a prospect in the same industry or the same size so that they have like kind of this connection thing, and then you just let them speak together. And also their upfront contract, before you do this, you say, okay, you know what, I will introduce you to our customer XYZ, but if you speak to him and he or she will take time for you, I also expect you that we will go one step further. I think the beautiful thing about your investors that you have, especially if you have VCs or very well-known corporate VCs, so for example, at Yokoi, we have Swisscom 6, as I said before, they usually have a very big network and they know people that know the people that you're selling to, especially if it's in Switzerland or the DACH area. So what I would always do is if you're stuck somewhere, search the conversation with your investors, with your partners, with your own network. Maybe your father or grandfather or cousin, brother knows someone in this company that can really push this, because the lead source that converts most is always the referral. I mean, obviously it won't be a referral lead source, but still in the end phase, if you will get referred from, someone in your network that knows your buying persona, you will land the deal for sure, or you will have better chances to land your deal. I say special offers is the thing you do. I mean, at the very, very end, if nothing works out, you can do a special offer, but also their upfront contract, you will not do a special offer without getting something in return. So please, dear salespeople, never, ever give something without getting something in return from your client. I mean, you will offer the special deal. All right, that's fair. But you want to have a commitment of 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 2 warm leads, referred from your client. I mean, there are many ways to do this, but always get something in return. Personal favors is one of the parts of relationship building. I think it's something people tend to forget, that you can really ask for a favor, right? I mean, we're all humans, and usually in B2B sales, your sales cycle is not just, a few weeks, but rather a few months or even a few quarters. And within that time, you really build up the relationship with your prospect. So it's not wrong at all to ask for a personal favor because you want to get this deal through. I mean, I would always keep it in a positive way, not in a negative way, not like you're super depressed because if you won't get this deal, you will lose your job. I mean, you can do that and maybe it will work out. I know people that did it before and it worked out, but I would do it in a positive way, saying like, hey, you saw it all over the news. We're growing like crazy. And if I could get this through this quarter, it will be the best quarter we ever had. And that would mean a lot to me. Usually people are on the same boat with you if you ask this. If you ask for a referral, you have to already propose something in return for your prospect. Because as I said before, with the upfront contract thing, it just makes you in a much better position if you, as a salespeople by yourself, offer something in return if you get referrals. I would be very generous with referrals because, as I said before in another video, the referral is the best lead source you can ever get, the highest conversion in every industry. And I've looked at many B2B companies and it was always referral that was converting the highest. So give something in return, ask for referrals. Ask for warm introductions, especially in the same industry where they are in, because that will really help you a lot building up a solid client base in that industry. So depending on the solution that you're selling, a free trial could really speed up the process to close your deal. It could also go terribly wrong. The reason why I'm saying this is if you offer a free trial to close the deal faster, please put up some great use cases that really are relevant to your prospect. Otherwise, you will just be coming back with a lot of questions that you have to answer, and maybe you will make them super unsure. So if you offer free trial, do it if you think it's the right way, and have some bomb use cases prepared, especially with the client's logo, with their look and feel, that they really feel at home. Then it can help a lot. Actually, we did this a lot at Beekeeper, and it worked out very, very well.
So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch the entire playlist so that you can learn about all Lars has to say about B2B sales. Until next time, dream big and never stop learning.